yes, I'm tall. So for all of you who are a bit distracted then, I'm a smidgen under 6 foot, so I'm not unreasonably tall. Now, the reason I've got fireworks up today is because I'm actually really excited. When I got the invitation to come and share with you today, I was so excited to have this opportunity because working with Andrew and Daryl and our Internet Secrets has been fantastic for my husband and I. We've done it together. We're a bit like Andrew and Daryl. We like to work together. It doesn't always work, but we do like to try. And we've got heaps out of what we've been doing with our Internet Secrets. So I'm thinking that you're probably here because you're in a similar position to what we were in a couple of years ago, which is wondering how to do things differently. You know, Einstein said you can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. We were in that position. You know, the GFC hit, my husband was out of work. We had this lovely offshore business that used to send us money that suddenly went belly up. So our income halved overnight and we had 3 mortgages to service. So that was not a fun position to be in. We now have no mortgages to service, so I'm a bit more relaxed than I used to be. But we were looking for what is it that we can do where we're not reliant upon other people to employ us and we have the opportunity to earn a little bit of money and have a little bit more control over the direction of our lives. Now, my husband still works from home. I'm very, very fortunate. He's a computer programmer, so he has the ability to do a lot of the technical stuff. So we're really lucky in that he has a lot of the ability to do some of the technical stuff that other people can't do. There is a small hiccup in that at times, in that because he has the ability, sometimes it doesn't get done because we all procrastinate a little bit. Is there anybody out there who does not procrastinate? Okay, if one person's honest and the rest of you are still thinking about putting up your hand, you're all procrastinators. So what we came into a similar 4-day workshop like this, and I know it's a marathon and I'm impressed with all of you being here on a Friday, just to learn about what other opportunities are out there. So, as I said, sitting at home doing the same thing all the time, thinking there's got to be another way. Now, I consider myself a bit of a smart cookie, and I'm sure there are a lot of you out there who are very smart as well. I was a nerd at school. My husband claims I'm still a nerd and all my friends are nerds. He's a geek because he's a computer nerd. So we make a good pair. But we were looking for something else to do, and one of the great things I found about this was I was learning something new all the time. But when you're learning something new, you still got to apply it. And that was a real challenge. Now, guess what profession I'm in? I'm a lawyer. How many lawyers do you know actually know how to run a business? Not a lot. We appoint accountants to run practices. Lawyers don't run practices. We're not actually taught anything about running a business. We're taught a heap about the law. There's certain other things that people say we're taught, which I just won't go into. But lawyers are not natural business people. So it was a real challenge for us, or for me particularly, to think about how to get into a business. And just to let you know, I tried it for 6 months. I left the position I was in, we moved back to Queensland, and for 6 months I tried to run the business from home and make the same kind of money I could make with other people, and it didn't work because I wasn't as self-directed and I wasn't as, I didn't have the same ability to look at, okay, this is how the dollars come in the door. So I know I need more practice in that area, so I went back to full-time work. So I am actually working full-time, and this is a leave day for me. How about that? I work full-time in-house with a company in Brisbane, which means I work in that one company. I don't work with outside clients in that business. And I run a business on the side. Now, what I was saying before, this is pig-headedness. There are things that we have done. Andrew and Daryl say, do it this way. And our Internet Secrets gives you a whole system to follow. How many people know you look at a system and you go, I can do that better? I'll just do this bit different. I bet that'll work if I do it that way. How many people have done that? There's a few more people with hands up. How many people have never done that? Never do that. Okay, no hands. What a coincidence. We've been pig-headed. So we've actually been working with Andrew and Daryl for 2 years now because we got so much out of the first year and we realised we needed more support and more help and more of those few little, why are you doing this? This is the way it works. Why are you doing that? This is the way it works. Just try this. And because we've stuck with it and we keep going, oh yeah, that's right, Andrew told us to do that. Have you ever heard of the Google slap? There's an Andrew slap. You know, it's just do it this, you know, what did we teach you? What did we tell you? It's very, very useful. And that's helped us get over being so pig-headed. So now we have, see down the bottom there, lawforyourwebsite.com. That is a business. I run that after hours. So I've got a full-time work, and then after hours, I run Law for Your Website. So weekends, early mornings, I like to get up early. A couple of hours a week. An extra $600 a week on average. $30,000 a year. Who here would be happy to get an extra $30,000 a year? For a couple of hours a week. Do you think that might be worthwhile? Okay, what you're learning this weekend is just the beginning. Working with our Internet Secrets and Andrew and Daryl gave us the support and the encouragement and the constant reminders not to be pig-headed to actually get things done and to apply ourselves. Now, we're doing it slower than some people. There are certainly people who get huge results much faster than we do, but we're really happy with what we've achieved so far. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about my business. One of those Andrew Google slaps. I came in, my husband and I went into the Millionaires Club, which is an exclusive group working more closely with Andrew and Daryl. And I had this great idea about how to educate lawyers to be more personable. Do you think that might be... Do you think that might be a good idea? And Andrew said it'll never work. You know, that's something that maybe happened down the track. But he kept saying to me, what about internet law? Who is focusing on internet law? We get heaps of inquiries about what's going on online. How hard would it be for you to do that? I resisted. You know that little piggy? I resisted, and then went, oh, okay, I'll do it. And now we have Law for Your Website, and it works. And this week I got an inquiry from South Africa and did some work for somebody in South Africa. How cool is that? And they were impressed because I could do it overnight, because different time zones, all that kind of stuff. So they were thrilled that I was able to do that work really quickly. Now what I'm talking about here is the internet, the World Wide Web. Now it's a little bit like the Wild Wild West. You know, it's a bit wild out there, but it's not totally lawless. There are laws that apply and there are rules that apply. And if you know what's going on, you can protect yourself. You don't want to get one of those phone calls or one of those letters of demand that say, hand over your website because you're in breach of this, that and the other. And if you don't, within 7 days, we'll take you to court. I work with people who get letters like that. 7 days is a completely unrealistic time frame and you don't have to worry about it. You just send a little letter back saying, I don't believe you, prove it. Works every time. Might say a little bit differently than that, but I work with people to make sure they don't just automatically lose their websites. I work with people to make sure they don't say things they shouldn't on the internet. There was a couple of guys up in Queensland who went to jail because they made all sorts of promises on their website and they sold a program through their website and it was not legitimate and they got in lots of trouble, and you don't need to do that. There are things you can say and there are things you can't say, and you need to know these things if you want to run a business and earn an income off the internet. So Law for Your Website has a whole lot of free resources and a whole lot of information to help people to progress in their online business. It's also, if you're really interested, got a free checklist that you subscribe, and I will send you emails, and you get a free checklist, and your checklist allows you to go through your website, have a look and say, yes, I've got it all covered. Actually, these things I need to look at. There's also a privacy policy and terms and conditions that you can copy and paste on your first website. Would that be useful? Yes. Okay. So if you need a privacy policy and you need terms and conditions just to get started, go check out the website. Other things that I cover. Andrew mentioned copyright before. This is a different copyright. They're spelt differently. One's got a W in it. Copyright is making sure that you don't just go around the internet and say, hey, that looks great, I'll just grab that and put it on my website. You can't do that. People will catch you. One of the big international organisations that's really good at catching you is, surprisingly, Getty's Images. Anybody heard of Getty's Images? They send out nasty letters and say, you owe us money, and if you don't pay us, we will sue you. And they actually do sue people. So, you know, all those pictures where we search and we go images and you get a whole page of pictures, oh, I like that one, I'll use that one. Don't use any Getty's Images unless you've actually bought them, because you will get one of those nasty letters. They've got some whiz-bang computer program that searches the internet and finds copies and sends out threatening letters. Trademarks. How not to lose your website by using somebody else's trademark in the domain name. Don't do it. Very easy to search, to do research on trademarks. Terms and conditions, how they help to protect you against being sued. Privacy policies, ownership, what you do when the owner is in this country and the product is in this country and the this is in that country, and so on and so forth. There are ways and means of running business online, and that's the kind of thing that I cover in Law for Your Website. So, what have I got out of working with Andrew and Daryl? Probably the biggest thing is the confidence to keep going. You know the hurdles that they were talking about before? Instead of getting to a hurdle and going, this is just too hard, I can't do this, it's, okay, what would Andrew and Daryl say? Or what would Andrew and Daryl do? Or what can I find on our internet secrets? Or who can I call? Because you meet the best people. Look at all the people in the room. You meet really cool people doing programs like this. Just the level of support and the ability to keep going. And we know we now have a plan, a long-term plan for Law for Your Website, and we can see that it's going to grow. But we've had to take those 2 steps back and say, okay, it didn't work the way we did it this way. So we'll just keep going and we'll keep applying what we're learning and keep going forward. And that's what it's like working with them. It's like having the coach. Anybody done competitive sport? We've got the Olympics starting tomorrow. Yay. I did competitive swimming for years as a child. Managed to swim at a national level in 3 different countries. So really got a lot of use out of having a coach. You know, any competitive sport, you're not going to succeed at a high level, and it doesn't have to be the highest level. You just want a bit of success without a coach. And that's what it's like working with these people, having a great coach in your corner, supporting you all the time. So, I'll just wrap it up. If you're interested in finding out more about what I'm doing with Law for Your Website, go and have a look. We've got a Facebook page. I am remiss, I haven't been posting lately, but I promise if you post on it today, for the first 3 people who post on Law for Your Website this afternoon, I'll give you a free 20-minute consultation. So, all those people with iPhones, go and find them now. Okay? I'll go and check my Law for Your Website this afternoon, and if your name's one of the first 3, I'll give you a free 20-minute consultation. Okay? Free info on Law for Your Website, and I also have a membership site, which is something that we're building up. And at the moment that has 14 weeks worth of lessons on it, and they're really, really detailed lessons to help educate you and to help support you to run your website safely so that all this great money you start to earn doesn't end up in somebody else's pocket. Okay.